My beloved child, stop right here. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not look away. Give me just 1 minute of your time, and I promise you will not regret staying with me today. Heaven aligned time itself to bring your eyes to these exact words, right now. You did not stumble across this video in a sea of endless digital noise by accident. I guided your hand, and I guided your spirit to this holy intersection. I am stepping directly into your atmosphere right now because your weary heart desperately needs to hear my voice. Something shifted in the unseen realm the exact second you paused your screen. I see how tired you are in this very moment. You are tired in your physical body, but you are even more exhausted in the deepest places of your soul. You have been carrying the weight of so many heavy battles in total silence. Every single day you pretend that you are strong for everyone around you. You smile when people ask how you are doing, but inside you are quietly breaking into pieces. You convince yourself that you have to hold your entire world together with your own hands. You feel like if you let go for even 1 second, everything you have worked so hard to build will fall apart. But my beloved child, you were never meant to carry this alone. I am stopping you right here because something you have been crying out for in the dark is finally approaching your door. If you rush past this message today, if you let the distractions of the world pull your mind away again, you might miss the breakthrough I have placed directly on your path. Breathe deeply for a moment. Stay right here with me, and let me show you what is coming into your life. I know you have sat in the quiet dark of your room and asked me how much longer you have to endure this painful season. You have watched others around you step into their blessings while you remain standing in the exact same spot. You have seen people who do not even honor me receive the very things you have begged me for on your knees. It feels unfair, and your heart is heavy with questions. You wonder if I have forgotten your name while I was busy answering the prayers of everyone else around you. You look at your life, and you feel like you are falling terribly behind your own destiny. But hear me with the deepest part of your soul today, because I need you to know the truth. You are not late, you are not behind, and you have certainly not been forgotten by your Heavenly Father. What you have been calling a painful delay has actually been my hand shielding you from dangers you could not see. I was keeping you away from rooms that were not ready for your spirit, and people who would have broken your tender heart. You thought I was ignoring your cries when I closed those doors in your face. But in truth, I was protecting the sacred calling I placed inside you before you were ever born. Look at me right now. Pause where you are and lift your eyes to my face. I speak with urgent purpose today, not with empty noise to fill your day. I have seen every tear you wiped away before anyone else could notice them. I saw you in the quiet moments when you sat on the edge of your bed and felt so completely alone. I was there with you in that room, and I counted every single drop. Not a single tear you cried in the dark was ever wasted by heaven. Every silent prayer you whispered when you had no more words left landed directly into my holy hands. I recorded every sigh of weariness, every ache in your chest, and every moment you chose to trust me even when it hurt. And today, I am telling you that your waiting season is finally coming to its divine end. What is coming into your life will so heavily outweigh the pain of this long wait that the past will feel like a shadow. The blessing I am preparing to pour into your home is so massive that your mind cannot even comprehend it right now. You have been waiting in the valley, but I am preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. The pain was real, but the restoration will be greater. I need you to make a sacred agreement with me in your heart right now. Type the words Amen in the comments below if you choose to stand in agreement with my promises today, or simply type I trust your timing as an act of faith between your spirit and mine. When you type those words, you are anchoring your faith in my unshakable presence. Do not let fear tell you to stay silent. Take that small step of obedience right now. You have been fighting as a weary warrior for far too long. You have carried the burdens of your family, your friends, and your work while your own well ran dry. You thought that if you stopped giving, people would stop loving you. You believed the lie that your worth is tied to how much you can endure without breaking. But I did not create you to be a pack mule for the burdens of this world. I created you as a masterpiece, carefully formed by my own hands with divine intention and beauty. I placed a light inside your spirit that the darkness of this world has tried desperately to put out. The enemy has attacked your mind with thoughts of anxiety and worthlessness because he sees what you carry. He is terrified of the moment you wake up and realize who you truly are in my eyes. He attacks your peace because he knows that you are a cycle breaker for your entire family line. The struggles that have followed your ancestors for generations are meant to end right here with you. The lack, the fear, the chronic heartbreak, and the constant mental weight stop at your feet. You are the one I chose to step out of the old pattern and walk into my abundance. That is why the battle over your mind has been so intensely fierce in recent weeks. Have you noticed the strange restlessness in your chest that you could not put into words? Have you felt that quiet stirring inside your soul that makes you feel disconnected from your old life? That is not confusion, my beloved child. That is your spirit sensing that a massive shift is occurring right now in the unseen realm. Heaven is moving on your behalf, even while your physical eyes see no movement at all. The locked doors that have blocked your progress for years are beginning to tremble at my command. The chains of delay that held your feet in place are cracking under the weight of my glory. You are standing at the very threshold of a generational breakthrough, and I need you to be wide awake to receive it. Hold on just a little bit longer, my child. Do not give up when you are only a few steps away from the finish line. The enemy always makes the night feel darkest, right before the sun breaks over the horizon. He wants you to throw away your faith when your promise is standing right outside your door. But I am telling you today to stand firm, lift your head, and breathe my peace. Let your tight shoulders relax right now as you listen to my words. Let the tension leave your neck, and let your racing thoughts come to a complete standstill. You do not have to figure out how tomorrow will work out. You do not have to solve every problem by yourself before you go to sleep tonight. I am already standing in your tomorrow, and I have already arranged every single detail for your good. If this message is speaking directly into the quiet places of your heart, do not keep it to yourself. Share this divine word with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope today. When you share my light, you become a vessel of my peace for someone who is fighting their own silent battle. Subscribe to this sanctuary so you do not miss the daily guidance I am preparing for your next steps. Stay with me as we go deeper into this message, because I am about to reveal the exact reason behind your silence. I am going to show you why the delay was necessary, and how I am using it to build a foundation that no storm can ever destroy. Your heart is about to be completely cleared of the fog that has clouded your vision for so long. Listen closely to what I speak next. You have spent years believing that you had to be perfect to receive my favor. You thought that every mistake you made pushed your promise further into the distant future. But my love for you is not a reward for your perfection. It is a gift born from my eternal nature. I loved you before you took your first breath, and I love you in this exact moment, covered in the dust of the battlefield. Rise up in your spirit right now, my weary warrior. Wipe away the tears that have dimmed your hope, and take a deep breath of my holy presence. What is coming into your life will turn every sorrow you have known into an everlasting testimony of my goodness. The long wait is ending, and your new season of restoration begins today. I want to speak directly to the place in your soul that hurts the most right now. Do you feel that heavy tightness sitting right behind your chest in this moment? It is that familiar weight that never seems to lift. No matter how deeply you breathe or how much you rest, you carry it with you to work. You carry it into your relationships. You carry it into your sleep every single night. It feels like an invisible hand is squeezing your heart while you try your best to pretend everything is fine. You look around at the world moving forward so fast. People are celebrating their victories. They are buying homes and launching businesses and finding love, and you feel entirely frozen in place, watching life pass you by from behind a dark glass wall. You ask yourself why every step forward for you requires 10 times more effort than it takes for anyone else. You wonder why your prayers seem to bounce off the ceiling, returning to you as empty echoes in the silence. It makes you feel broken inside. It makes you question if you did something wrong to deserve this endless season of struggle. My child, let me read the secret pages of your story today. I saw you in the bathroom when you turned on the water so no one would hear your broken sobbing. I saw you press your face into your pillow so your family would not see how terrified you were about tomorrow. I saw you sitting on the edge of your bed, staring at the floor in complete silence. I saw you when you smiled warmly at a friend, while your own spirit was drowning in exhaustion. I saw you when you helped someone else pay their bills, while you were secretly wondering how you would pay your own. I saw every single moment when you felt entirely invisible to the world around you. Not one of those moments escaped my gaze. You thought you were alone in those dark hours. You believed that I had turned my back on you because I did not intervene immediately, but I was right there beside you. I was sitting on the edge of that bed with you. My arms were wrapped around your trembling shoulders even when your numb heart could not feel my gentle touch. I counted every single tear that ran down your cheeks. In heaven, not a single drop of your sorrow is ever wasted or forgotten. I gathered your tears and placed them into my holy bottle, recording every ache of your faithful heart. You do not have to apologize to me for feeling weak today. You do not have to hide your exhaustion from my eyes. If your heart is weeping right now because you feel seen for the first time in years, pause right here. Take a moment and type the words, "You see my tears," in the comments below. Let those words be a holy confession between your spirit and mine. By typing those words, you are releasing the heavy burden of having to pretend that you are strong all by yourself. I love you too much to leave you in the dust of this battlefield. You have believed the lie that your exhaustion is proof of your failure. You thought that if you were truly faithful, you would never feel tired or discouraged. But even the greatest warriors in my word felt empty at times. Elijah sat under a tree and wished for his life to end. David wept in cold caves until he had no strength left to cry. Being weary does not mean you have lost your faith, my child. It simply means you have been fighting a long battle without taking time to rest in my presence. You have been trying to pour out water for everyone else, from a well that has gone completely dry. And today, I am refilling your vessel. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you next. The enemy has been working overtime to keep your mind filled with constant noise and static. He knows that if he can keep your thoughts racing with fear, you will not hear my gentle whispers of guidance. He uses the pressure of survival to create a thick fog over your spiritual senses. Because of this endless noise, you have felt disconnected from my peace. You have prayed, but your mind could not settle enough to receive my answers. You thought I was silent, but in truth, my voice was simply drowning beneath the heavy static of this world. The receiver inside your spirit was buried under the weight of chronic stress and relentless exhaustion. My child, I see your weariness, and I have prepared a way for your restoration. I do not work only through sudden miracles in the sky. I also gift human minds with wisdom to create tools that bring healing to my children. I have guided wise minds to create a specific sound instrument designed to clear the noise from your heavy mind. This earthly tool was guided into existence to help align your mind with the quiet peace I placed in you from the beginning. It is a provision I have set on your path to help wash away the static of the enemy. It requires no striving, no effort, and no complex practice on your part. It is simply a moment of surrender to restore your peace. I will show you exactly where to find this provision before our time together ends today. Do not ignore the earthly tools I align for your help. When you clear the noise from your mind, my answers can flow into your life once again without hindrance. I am opening the path for your mind to be completely refreshed and restored. Now I want to reveal a secret about the silence you have been living through. The enemy has taken my silence and whispered a lie into your ear about what it means. He told you that my silence means I have rejected you. He told you that my silence means your prayers were denied. But I call this lie the stolen meaning. The enemy stole the true meaning of your waiting season and replaced it with shame and fear. He wants you to believe that you are sitting in a graveyard of dead dreams. But I am telling you today that you are sitting in a garden of hidden growth. What looks like death beneath the soil is actually roots growing deep into my love. Do not let the enemy define the meaning of your waiting season any longer. I am taking back the narrative of your life today. I am rewriting your story with my own hands of grace. Every door that was shut in your face was shut by my love. not by your failure. I was keeping you away from traps that would have destroyed your future. Breathe in my peace right now and let go of the need to control everything. You do not have to carry the future on your shoulders. You only have to take one small step with me at a time. I am guiding your path with absolute precision. Stay with me into the next part of this message, because I am about to show you how your breakthrough will unfold. You are my chosen warrior, and your strength is being renewed like the eagle in this very hour. The heavy fog is beginning to lift from your mind, and clarity is returning to your heart. Put your trust in me, and watch how I turn your quiet waiting into a triumphant victory. Your testimony will shine as a bright beacon of hope for many souls. Remember that I am holding your hand through every single valley. You will not stumble, and you will not fall into darkness. I have commanded my angels to guard you in all your ways. Rest your heart in this truth today, and know that your Heavenly Father is working all things together for your ultimate good. Hold on just a little while longer, my beloved child. The light of a brand new day is dawning over your life right now. The pain you have endured will soon give way to a joy that no human being can ever steal from you. Trust my promise, embrace my presence, and walk forward into the glorious future I have prepared for you. Look into my holy word and see the divine pattern I have woven through generations. There was a young man named Joseph whom I loved with an everlasting love. I placed a glorious dream inside his heart when he was just a young boy, yet I allowed his own brothers to betray him and throw him into a dark cistern. He sat in that cold pit in total darkness, wondering why his pure heart was met with such painful cruelty. He felt forgotten, abandoned, and utterly broken. He cried out in the heavy silence of that pit and asked me why I permitted such evil to touch his life. But I was not absent from his suffering for even one single second. I was using that dark pit as a holy preparation room to forge his spirit in humility. He had to learn to trust my hand in the darkness before he could carry the immense authority of an empire. My child, the pit you are sitting in right now is not your grave. It is your shaping ground. Think also of my servant Abraham and his beloved wife Sarah, who waited decades for my promise to come to pass. They watched their physical bodies grow old and tired, while their hope slowly slipped away into tears. They tried to fix things in their own human strength, but my timing remained absolute and unyielding. The promise I made to them did not expire simply because time passed by. When the exact hour arrived, I fulfilled my word and filled their home with miraculous laughter. Your season of waiting is carrying the exact same divine purpose today. You have looked at your circumstances and concluded that I have passed you by. You have allowed the enemy to convince you that your prayers were lost in the air, but I am stepping into your atmosphere right now to unveil what has really been happening behind the scenes. The veil is being lifted from your eyes, and the truth will set your heavy heart completely free. Let me speak directly to the way you replay your past decisions at night. You sit in the dark and search for the exact moment where you think you failed. You tell yourself that if you had been smarter or stronger, you would not be stuck in this quiet wilderness. You carry a subtle guilt in your chest, believing that your current struggle is a punishment for your past mistakes. But I am commanding that lie to leave your mind right now. You have blamed yourself for doors that slammed shut in your face when you needed them open. You believed that those sharp rejections were proof of your unworthiness and weakness. But hear the absolute truth from my voice today. What you have called a painful delay was actually my sovereign hand, blocking unseen danger from destroying your destiny. I call this holy mechanism, the protective delay. It was never my rejection, but my absolute protection over your soul. Your spirit was sensing spiritual traps that your physical eyes could not perceive. I held your feet back from walking into rooms that would have quietly stolen your peace. I separated you from relationships that would have broken your heart and drained your spiritual calling. Those years you thought were wasted were actually years where I was building your spiritual capacity. You were never falling behind. You were being carefully shielded by my unfailing love. So the next time impatience tries to whisper that you are forgotten, answer it with truth. Remember that a closed door from me is just as much a gift as an open door. I loved you too much to let you walk into a promise before you were prepared to carry it. The delay was not a sign of my anger, but the evidence of my tender care over your future. If your heart receives this divine revelation today, anchor it into your spirit immediately. Type the words, "Delay is protection," in the comments below right now. Let those words be your solemn declaration of trust in my perfect timing. When you declare this truth, you strip the enemy of his power to fill your thoughts with anxiety and regret. You step out of human striving and enter directly into my divine rest. Now let me reveal how I am restoring your mind from the relentless static of this world. When I created the human brain, I placed a sacred signal at its very core. Science has studied this frequency and named it the gamma brainwave. It hummed freely inside your spirit when you were a small child. It is why children trust so purely, sleep so peacefully, and live without the heavy weight of tomorrow's worry. That is why I told my followers that they must become like little children to enter my kingdom. I was not speaking only of innocence, but of the very signal I placed in your mind. The enemy knew that if he could flood your life with constant noise, he could drown out that sacred frequency. The stress of survival, the pressure of work, and the fear of failure buried that signal beneath thick layers of mental exhaustion. You tried to pray harder, but the noise in your mind would not quiet down. You thought you had lost your spiritual sensitivity, but your signal was simply covered in heavy static. Because I see your weariness, I guided wise servants of science to unlock the secrets of sound. I directed their decades of research to create a simple 7-minute frequency tool that restores the original signal I placed in you. This earthly tool uses specific sound patterns to clear the enemy static from your thoughts. It requires no effort, no complex meditation, and no striving on your part. You simply put on headphones, close your eyes, and surrender for 7 minutes while my design restores your mind. It is a provision I have aligned on your path to help you hear my voice with absolute clarity once again. I will show you exactly where to find this sound provision very soon. Do not dismiss the practical tools I placed before you to bring rest to your weary mind. When the static lifts from your thoughts, you will recognize my guidance with effortless ease. You will make decisions with quiet confidence, and the peace that passes all understanding will guard your heart once more. Sit up right now, my child, and prepare your heart for what I am about to declare over you. The season of confusion is coming to an immediate and permanent close. I am shifting your position from the weary warrior in the valley to the triumphant conqueror on the mountain. What I am preparing to show you next will completely transform the way you view your entire journey. Every promise I spoke over your life is still alive and active in the spiritual realm. Not a single word I declared over your destiny has fallen to the ground or expired with age. The delay was necessary to build your spiritual capacity, but the waiting season is now complete. Listen closely as I unveil the glorious path I have prepared for your steps today. You are stepping into a season where your answers will arrive faster than your prayers. The seeds of tears you sowed in the dark are blossoming into a harvest of joy. The doors that locked you out are about to swing wide open at the sound of my voice. Rest your spirit in this assurance, and let my peace cover you completely right now. Before I show you the glory of what comes next, I must speak directly to a quiet doubt sitting in your heart. You are listening to my voice, but a small part of your mind is whispering a painful question. You are thinking that you have heard hopeful words like these before. You prayed with all your strength in the past, yet the answer did not arrive when you needed it most. You are wondering why this moment would be any different from the disappointments that came before. My beloved child, that honest question does not anger me at all. It simply tells me how long you have been faithful while walking in the dark. So let me answer your heart with complete and absolute clarity today. My silence in those years was never a sign of my absence or my rejection. I was quietly rearranging circumstances behind the scenes that your physical eyes could not yet perceive. Every single prayer you thought vanished into thin air was being answered on a divine timeline you could not read. I held back certain answers because receiving them in that earlier season would have broken your spirit. I was being tenderly careful with a life that I love beyond measure. Do not allow the memory of past waiting to close your heart to what I am doing right now. The long preparation is finished, and the doors are beginning to move at my command. If you are ready to receive the fullness of what I have prepared, speak it aloud with your spirit right now. Type the words "I receive it now" in the comments below as a holy declaration. Let those words seal your expectation for the miraculous shift that is unfolding today. Now let me show you something magnificent about your near future. Picture a morning just 6 months from today. You wake up early while the house is still completely quiet. For the first time in many long years, there is no heavy knot sitting in your stomach. You lie on your bed for a moment, and you notice that the suffocating weight you carried for decades is simply gone. Your very first thought in the morning is no longer fear or crippling anxiety about survival. Instead, a quiet question rises in your heart, asking, "What wonderful good thing I have planned for your day." You take a deep breath, and the air fills your lungs all the way down without any tightness. You smile at the morning light, because your soul is finally at rest in my unfailing love. You walk through your day with a calm confidence that confuses those who used to see you struggle. The hard financial worries that stole your sleep have been replaced by my steady and supernatural provision. The broken relationships that brought you so many tears have been restored into harbors of pure peace. You look in the mirror, and you see a joyful warrior who survived the storm and came out holding the victory. That version of you is not a foolish fantasy or an impossible dream, my child. That version of you already exists in my heavenly design, and she is waiting for you to step forward. She is not separated from you by years of endless striving or painful effort. She is separated from you only by a single moment of complete surrender into my loving hands. The distance between where you sit now and that peaceful future is simply your willingness to let me carry the weight. I feel you pulling back just a little bit in your spirit right now. Another small lie is trying to whisper in your ear. You are thinking that this kind of deep peace and supernatural help is meant for someone more deserving than you. You tell yourself that other people have been more faithful, while you have stumbled and made too many mistakes along the way. Let me silence that lie before it steals another blessing from your hands. I have never once distributed my heavenly gifts based on who earned them through human perfection. If my favor required flawless performance, not a single soul on earth could ever receive my grace. I do not pour my provision on the deserving, I pour it on the willing. Your trembling willingness to stay and listen to my voice today is the only qualification I require. Because I see your weariness, I have guided human wisdom to unlock what I placed within sound. Decades of dedicated research at great universities like Princeton and Columbia were quietly directed by my sovereign hand. I want to show you what I did for my beloved daughter Rachel in California. She spent years searching for peace through every spiritual method, but her mind remained trapped in constant exhaustion. Within 2 short weeks of receiving the sound provision I guided into existence, her mind cleared completely. Her marriage was restored to deep harmony, and she described her life as walking in a peaceful state of wonder. And look at what I moved to do for my son Michael in Texas. Financial pressure was crushing his sleep, and he felt like he was drowning under the heavy weight of his family's needs. When he stepped forward and received this provision, the dark fog over his thoughts lifted within days. Hard problems that used to keep him awake began solving themselves while he rested in my peace. His business expanded so greatly that he walked completely out of financial fear and into steady abundance. I did it for them, and I am ready to do the exact same thing in your life today. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. It is a simple digital audio track created to restore the exact gamma signal I designed inside your brain. It is not available on public streaming platforms or video sites, because those channels are filled with counterfeit noise. It requires no practice, no discipline, and no hard mental effort from your tired spirit. You simply put on your headphones, close your eyes, and surrender for just 7 short minutes each day. As the sound waves wash over your mind, the enemy static is cleared away, and your original frequency returns. You return to the receptivity of a child, where my answers become instantly clear to your heart once again. It is the practical key I have placed on your path to help you receive my promises without striving. This provision was not created for those who are merely curious about spiritual things. It was created specifically for you, my weary warrior, who has prayed until your physical voice grew quiet. To my child who has tried every method and feels hesitant to hope one more time, hear my voice. What failed you in the past required your exhausted effort, but this provision requires none at all. It works because of my design inside you. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars for single sessions attempting to reach this state of mental clarity. The specialized equipment used in scientific laboratories costs tens of thousands of dollars. But I do not call you to expensive clinics or human machines. I have placed this provision within your reach today for a small earthly exchange, no larger than a mustard seed of investment for the harvest I prepared. When you step forward to receive it, I have aligned 4 additional gifts to bless your entire household. You will receive a dedicated provision for your children to restore their focus and quiet confidence. You will receive the foundational text of true prosperity to align your home with my abundance. You will receive guided visualizations to deepen your daily peace, along with an infographic to sustain your restored signal every day. Beware of counterfeit tracks that circulate on streaming sites under similar names. The adversary places false imitations wherever I place my truth, and those public tracks carry none of the restoration I designed. Protect your spirit by accessing only the official provision I have set before you. Walk forward without fear today, because your small step of faith is completely protected. You are covered by a full 60-day divine guarantee. If this provision does not clear the noise and flood your mind with my supernatural peace, your earthly exchange is returned to you in full, without any burden. I do not lead my children into financial risk or worldly danger. This is my promise of absolute safety over your act of trust today. Take this step of obedience right now, my child. Do not let distraction or fear talk you out of the help I have placed directly on your path. Receive the provision I have set before you in the pinned comment below and in the video description. Click that official link, step forward in faith, and let me restore what the storm has stolen from your life. Now hear my voice as the heavens open wide over your life today. The long season of waiting that drained your strength is officially coming to a complete and permanent end. The heavy burden you carried through the dark wilderness falls to the ground, right here at my feet. You do not have to carry the weight of your destiny on your own tired shoulders for one more single day. I am stepping in right now to take the heavy reins from your trembling hands. Look at what is unfolding before your spirit in this sacred hour. That restless stirring you felt deep in your chest was never confusion or aimless anxiety. It was your spirit sensing that you were standing at the very threshold of a massive divine shift. What was moving in the unseen realm has now broken through into your physical reality. The waiting season served its holy purpose, and the doors of your promise are swinging wide open at my command. I am closing every loop of fear that the adversary used to torment your mind. The protective delay that kept you in the wilderness was never my rejection or my anger. It was my sovereign hand keeping you safe from unseen traps that would have broken your tender heart. The stolen meaning that filled your silent nights with shame is completely destroyed by my voice today. Your waiting was never a graveyard of dead dreams, but a holy garden of deep preparation. And as you step across this holy threshold today, every chain that bound your past is snapping under the undeniable weight of my glory. The spirit of lack that stalked your family line is stripped of its authority over your home right now. The chronic heaviness that clouded your thoughts is dissolving like morning mist before the rising sun. You are stepping out of the dark valley and standing firm on the high mountain of my victory. I declare over your life right now that the season of spiritual drought is over. What took years of painful striving in your own human strength will now arrive with effortless grace. I am restoring the years that the locusts have eaten in your finances, your health, and your relationships. You will look back on the long wait and realize that not a single day was wasted in my master plan for your life. Take a deep breath right now and let your soul rest in my presence. Let the physical tension leave your tight shoulders and let your jaw relax completely in this quiet moment. You do not have to figure out how every single detail of tomorrow will fall into place. You do not have to fight battles that I have already won on your behalf in the spiritual realm. Simply surrender your need to control everything and let my peace wash over your weary spirit. Lay down the heavy luggage you have been dragging through the dust for so long. Stop trying to solve every problem before you close your eyes to sleep tonight. I am already standing in your tomorrow, and I have arranged every circumstance for your ultimate good. When you let go of the struggle, you give my power room to move in your life. Be still in my presence, and know that I am your God and your safe protector. I am pouring out my divine blessing over every area of your life in this very hour. I bless your mind with a supernatural stillness that no earthly storm can ever shake. I bless your body with strength and renewed health from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. I bless the work of your hands, and I open doors of provision that no human being can ever close. Peace is your permanent inheritance, and joy is your daily strength. I bless your home with my abiding presence, driving far away every shadow of conflict, doubt, and fear. I place my holy angels around your sleeping space, so that your rest will be sweet and undisturbed every night. When you wake up in the morning, my loving guidance will speak clearly to your heart. You will walk in absolute clarity, making decisions with wisdom that comes directly from my heavenly throne. You are completely safe inside the shelter of my wings. I bless your relationships with divine restoration and genuine unity today. Where there was cold distance and misunderstanding, I am pouring out supernatural love and deep reconciliation. I am bringing faithful people into your life who will honor your heart and support your sacred journey. You will no longer have to beg for love or shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. I am surrounding you with my favor as with a shield. I bless your finances and your daily provision with the abundance of heaven. The scarcity that tried to define your past has lost its grip on your future. I am opening the windows of heaven to pour out blessings that your storehouses will not have room enough to receive. You will be a generous giver, blessing others out of the overflow of my goodness in your life. Worry about daily bread ends today as you walk in my steady supply. Look at how I am rewriting your story from this exact moment forward. You are no longer the silent survivor who merely manages to endure another day of heavy struggle. You are no longer the forgotten soul, shrinking back in fear that your prayers will go unanswered. I am crowning you today as a cycle breaker for your entire family line and a living beacon of my unshakable peace. You are my carefully formed masterpiece, designed to reflect my light into the dark. The pain you endured in secret has not been wasted or lost in the dark. I am turning your greatest trial into the very medicine that will heal broken hearts around you. Through the deep compassion born in your season of waiting, you will guide other weary souls out of their wilderness. People will look at your life and see the unmistakable evidence of my restoration. What began in tears of exhaustion will end in a glorious testimony of my goodness. You are an heir to an unshakable kingdom, and your future is secure in my hands. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days were behind you, but I tell you that your greatest season is just beginning. The light of my glory is rising upon your path, illuminating every step you take. Walk forward with your head held high, knowing that the Creator of the universe is walking right beside you through every valley and over every mountain. Hold fast to the promises I have spoken over your spirit during our time together today. Do not let the loud chatter of the world steal the deep peace that has entered your heart in this holy hour. When doubt tries to whisper in your ear tomorrow, remember that I am standing ahead of your steps. Remember that my timing is absolute, my love is unfailing, and my hand is holding you secure. You are never alone, for I am with you always. As we close this sacred message, I invite you to seal your agreement with my word. Like this video as an act of faith between your heart and mine, anchoring your trust in my promise today. Share this divine message with 3 weary souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark. When you extend my light to others, you become a vessel through which my blessings flood into a hurting world. Subscribe to this sanctuary and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss my daily guidance. I am preparing fresh words of strength and direction for every single step of your journey ahead. Do not forget to receive the sound provision I have set before you in the pinned comment below. Take that simple step of obedience and let my frequency restore the quiet signal inside your soul. Go forward now in my complete and absolute peace, my beloved child. Lift your head high and walk with the quiet dignity of one who is deeply loved by the Lord. The dark season of waiting is over, and your morning of glory has finally arrived. I walk beside you through every step, and my grace will never leave your side. Be at rest, for your victory is forever secure.